Foods are materials which in their naturally occurring processed or cooked forms are consumed by humans for nourishment and for enjoyment. Water or moisture is a predominant constituent in many foods. As a medium, water supports chemical reactions and it is a direct reactant in hydrolytic process of foods. Therefore, removal of water from food or binding it by increasing the concentration of common salt or sugar retard many reactions and inhibit the growth of microorganisms. It improves the shelf life of foods through physical interaction with proteins, polysaccharides, lipids, and salts. In addition, water has significant contribution to the texture of foods. In 1952, Scott came to the conclusion that the storage quality of food does not depend on the water content but on the water activity. So, today we are going to talk about moisture content or water content of foods and the water activity of foods. Hello everyone, you all are welcome back to our YouTube channel Esquilenta Science. If you are new to here and want to learn about the food processing technology, please hit the subscribe followed by the bell. Moisture content tells you how much water is in food, but water activities has something little bit different scenario. Water activity is really important in predicting the stability of foods. Also, we can use it to predict shelf life and types of reactions that will occur in food over time. So, let's do a little refresh about moisture content and water activity of foods. Let's get started. What do you mean by moisture content and water activity? Let's define these two terms first. Moisture content is the amount of water contained in the food. It is commonly reported on either wet basis or dry basis, which we calculate as below. Wet basis moisture content is equal to the mass of water in the food divided by the total mass of the food. Dry basis moisture content is equal to the mass of water in the food divided by the mass of solids in the food. So what's water activity? Water activity or AW is defined as the ratio of a partial vapor pressure of water above the food to the vapor pressure of pure water at the same temperature and pressure. Let's first talk about the vapor pressure of pure water. When water is placed in a closed container, water molecules with enough energy will escape to the headspace in the form of water vapor. Those water vapor molecules are in constant random motion and exert a pressure on the top and sides of the container. The vapor pressure is high when high amount of water molecules move faster in the headspace. The vapor molecules are in a dynamic equilibrium with the liquid water. There are constantly vapor molecules returning to the liquid state and liquid water molecules escaping to the gas phase, but the overall pressure in the container stays constant while this exchange occurs. Vapor pressure of food is the same basic concept in a closed container of water. Water molecules in the food can escape in the form of water vapor and enter into the headspace of the container, exerting a pressure on the top and sides, known as the vapor pressure. Some of the water molecules in the food cannot escape into the headspace because they interact with components of food. The vapor pressure of the food divided by the vapor pressure of pure water is equal to the water activity. So, moisture content and the water activity are not the same, but they least relate to each other. Foods with higher moisture contents tend to have high water activities, but it's usually not a linear relationship. If we plot moisture content versus water activity, we can visualize this relationship. We call this type of graph an isotherm, which we often divided into three regions that show different water mobility and food properties. In region 1, the moisture content and water activity are both low. Water molecules are tightly held by the food and have limited mobility. In the region 2, moisture content is still relatively low, but water activity increases rapidly with small increases in moisture. Water molecules interact with the food but have some mobility. In region 3, both moisture content and water activity are high and water molecules have high mobility. We will discuss how to obtain the isotherm for a particular food in our future video. In addition to different moisture contents, foods in each of these regions have different textural properties. Foods in region 1 tend to have a dry or crisp texture. Foods in region 2 tend to have a chewy or moist texture. In foods in region 3 tend to have a soft or juicy texture. I have discussed water activity of foods in the hurdle technology lesson also. Some examples of food products in region 1 are cereal chips, cracker foods, etc. In region 2 include chewy fruit bars, resins, fruit rolls, and etc. Food examples for region 3 includes fresh fruits, vegetables, milk, and meat products. Food stability also different between water activity regions. We can gain insight into differences in food stability by using the isotherm as a template for a map of many reactions and microorganisms that affect to the quality and stability of foods. Foods have water activity dependent reaction rates. So by plotting reaction rates or growth rates of microorganisms against the water activity, we can predict which factors will affect to the food stability based on the food's water activity. The number of factors that can reduce food stability increase with the water activity. We can see that in region 1, lipid oxidation is the main stability concern and most other factors like microbial growth, non-enzymatic browning and enzyme activity are not problematic. In region 2, non-enzymatic browning and enzyme activity can occur to some extent, but microbial growth is still not a big concern. However, in region 3, foods are susceptible to all factors discussed including lipid oxidation, non-enzymatic browning, enzyme activity and microbial growth. Consequently, foods in region 1 have high stability or long shelf life foods. In region 2 have intermediate stability or intermediate shelf lives and fresh foods in region 3 low stability or short shelf life. However, foods in region 3 can undergo processes like canning and pasteurization that improve their stability and thus give them long shelf lives. So these are the basic things that you should know about the moisture content and water activity of foods. You can search for the details through books and research papers. So if you found this video useful, please give it thumbs up and subscribe for videos just like this. Hope to catch you in next time and thanks for watching.